Okay, so Jeb is kind of asked the same thing about Trump. And Jeb says, you can't just, talk about this stuff and insult leaders around the world and expect a good result. You have to do this with a steady hand, and I believe I have those skills. So, the steady hand thing, I got to give it to Jeb. It was a bit clever because the original question actually referred to, Trump's finger being on, like, the launch button. So, Jeb sort of pulled that out. But, Jeb, I think, is working with a pretty serious speaking handicap. He's really not a good speaker. I mean, he's great at certain things, raising money, being related to presidents. It still just looks like he's in theater class and he has not rehearsed his monologue enough times. I've been there. It is unbearable to sit through a performance like that. But I'm going to give Jeb maybe like a solid B minus for his performance on the CNN debate. And he actually, did okay, And, I'm just measuring in like all the basic 10 categories of debating. Not really on points. I mean, not really on substance, But I'm just talking about like, coming off like he's a credible person to be convincing everyone that he should be president. I thought he did okay. But we still saw his lack of speaking ability. On multiple occasions, he was searching for words in the moment and then, said what he said. It's just like, Jeb, it's just so mediocre. You know what I mean? He says, talking about John Roberts, who his brother appointed to the Supreme Court. John Roberts has made some really good decisions, for sure. But he did not have a proven, extensive record that would have made the clarity of the important thing. And that's what we need to do. It's like he's trying to think of a way to describe, what Roberts should have done. He's like, oh, okay, let's say different words describe different things. He should have made clarity the important thing. He should have made the thing that was important, things being more clear. It's like, Jeb, I think actually you need to work on that. But again, like I said, as far as, those polled and, the crowd and Jeb's viability, he's far from a shrinking daisy. He is not going away, and he will be somebody to contend with as this whole thing slogs on. And tonight, he went from his Fox News debate performance of being solidly bad to a performance that was, just downright mediocre, which is an objective notch up. So I think he's going places. Okay, let's just look real quick at Bush, because this is a critical juncture for Bush. This is where he could, I don't know, make a big gain on Trump, or the guy who pays off the ref. or, breaks the other horse's leg. I don't know. So this question's coming from this Hewitt, guy. And so he says, I've done a lot of great interviews with all of you, but Governor Bush, I talked to you in February about the biggest elephant in a room full of elephants, which is your last name. And you said you would not be burdened either by your brother or your father's legacy in the Middle East. And then a week later, you rolled out your list of foreign policy advisors. And it was a lot of the band getting back together. So on behalf of the military that is watching, Jeb says, yeah. Okay, the active duty military that are at the end of the sphere, what kind of a commander-in-chief is Jeb Bush going to be? And who are the advisors that are new to your team? Bush's answer just shows, I think, that he's brushing off this question, basically. He says, well, first of all, if you're looking at Republican advisors, you have to go to the last two administrations. That happened to be 41 and 43. So just by definition, and many of the people here that are seeking advice from the foreign policy experts in the Republican side, they served in my dad's administration and my brother's administration. Of course that's the case. But I'm my own man. So, I love it, I love the card that he plays there. It's like, well, I can't help it. I mean, how can you avoid two of your immediate family's administrations that were just in control in the last recent history? I mean, these Bushes are everywhere. I can't avoid them. Being a Bush myself, it's like, it's like he answers the question as if he's not a Bush. He's like, well, they're unavoidable. I just so happened to. It's like, well, I don't know. I mean, that would be a bad answer if it was not Bush. And they asked the guy, why'd you hire all these advisors from the Bushes when they made all these big messes in the Middle East,